are eating some lunch, and then we are heading to Falls/Sun campground. We're not going to stay at the campground, we'll check it out, but we're just going to do some hiking, check out the waterfall, and then maybe do a little bit of swimming and cool off in the water because it is summertime here and it is super hot. So stay tuned. This is one of the smallest, quaint campgrounds that I've been to, especially in North Carolina. I believe it is state ran. It's not even a full loop. It's literally just one path in and out, and there's maybe 10 spots. I don't think any of them have electricity except for the camp host. And from what I could tell online, there was a bathhouse, but I didn't see it, so I don't know if that's the case or not. Definitely cute and a nice place to spend the night if you want to stay in the national forest. This area is in the Pisgah National Forest. However, you will notice today that I'm not specifically saying where this is, and we'll get into that a little bit later. As we continued on down the path, we saw some locals at part of the river that seems to be a good swimming area. We were made aware of this area by one of Andrew's coworkers, and a lot of people do fishing and swimming. We got to our destination. I brushed my teeth after my quinoa salad, and I washed my face because I was sweating my butt off in the van. It has been so hot, so I'm really looking forward to swimming today. In van life, it really is the little things. I got some bungee cords attached, and now I can hang my mug and some paper towels and whatever else I need near the sink. What can I say? Constantly reinventing the wheel. Well, we just had two very different encounters. This first elderly couple was so sweet, and they're from Florida, and they have a summer cabin here. I'm sure the locals hate that. But they were like really nice and like, we used to do van traveling in the summer with all of our kids. Your van is so cool. Like, this is so nostalgic. Like, I'm so happy to see you guys doing this. Like, they were really, really like chill and encouraging. And then all of a sudden, like, I had the doors open. Andrew was sitting out there with Gunner. Gunner's on a leash tied to the van. And like, we're on like a overlook pull-off area. So like, there's a 2-lane road right here. And then there's a waterfall up ahead. And then this over here just drops straight down. Well, and this dog comes up, and I feel bad because the dog looks super sweet. It doesn't know any better. Well, Gunner does not like other dogs, especially other dogs we don't know, just trying to hop in our van. And so Andrew was like, hey, not friendly. And like the guy, like it was these two older men, like not even aware. They have left the dog running around.
It's not fair to other people to have your dog not on a leash because then other people feel like they can't get their dog out.
People that like literally aren't watching their dog and their dog has no recall, those are the people that have their dog off leash. Like every time. But if you want to make enemies on the trail, don't have your dog on a leash. Sorry. It's no secret that the cost of housing is on the rise. It is woefully unobtainable and unrealistic for the average American to purchase a house in this current economy. Sad but true. Gentrification is happening nearly everywhere, and smaller cities and smaller towns that used to be affordable are starting to skyrocket because people are fleeing extremely expensive areas to find something more affordable. Now, this is true for Floridians moving to North Carolina. There is a bit of a hostility and an undertone. People in the Carolinas refer to Floridians as Floridians, and they refer to New Yorkers and people from up north as halfbacks because they normally go all the way down to Florida and then stop halfway and end up moving to the Carolinas. I don't blame anyone for wanting to move here. It's very beautiful. I really love it, and I appreciate the culture. People are generally very kind here. However, I think it's important to be respectful and mindful. This is someone's everyday life. These are really the only resources some people have. So whether you're just traveling or whether you're planning to move somewhere, really immerse yourself in the culture. I'm not saying everyone has to agree on every single topic socially and politically, but I think we can all be neighbors without hostility. All right, that was getting pretty intense, huh? Let's set up our little area. So There's not really a parking lot. There's not really any infrastructure, which brings me to my next point. I don't want to say exactly where this is. There is no infrastructure meant for hordes of people to come here. It's very beautiful, but there is no legitimate parking lot. There's not even a lot of parking on the shoulder. There are no bathrooms. There are no garbage cans. And there is absolutely no cell phone reception. If you come out here, let somebody know where you're going or have a satellite phone or something like that. It is very beautiful. There are snakes out here. So have your wits about you. Truthfully, I think the average tourist would have a much more enjoyable time over at Sliding Rock if you're looking for a place to cool off and take a dip. If you're wanting to see a really beautiful waterfall that's easily accessible, check out Looking Glass Falls. It's not too far from Moore Cove and Sliding Rock. You could really do all of that in one day if you're adventurous. Speaking of, I have compiled a list of our top recommendations for hikes, waterfalls, food, Airbnbs, campsites, all in the WNC, West North Carolina area, over on our Patreon. It will be linked in the description below. On the flip side, I have been called a gatekeeper for not wanting to share this specific location. This location was given to me by a local. If you want to find cool places like this, talk to the locals. It works every time. I give everybody a chance and it ends up working out in my favor most of the time. What you're about to see next stirred up quite a bit of controversy on my TikTok this past week. So out of nowhere, these 4 people showed up to do an impromptu pseudo fishing photo shoot. Say that 3 times fast. They did not seem to be well versed in fishing as they couldn't even throw the line. They tied it to a rock to give it tension, and they had a Zebco reel. If you don't know what that means, then don't worry about it. The locals were very dumbfounded. I thought it was quite entertaining as someone who actually enjoys the outdoors and fishing, but still does brand deals. I do wholeheartedly believe that industry pros should get first dibs and represent the brands that they actually use. I have no idea what this shoot was for, so we cannot jump to conclusions, but they did take a frozen fish out of the cooler and put it in the net. Overall, I personally don't think they did anything wrong. They weren't bothering anybody. However, if this would have gotten in the way of people fishing, then it would have been a huge no-no. There is a lot when it comes to fishing etiquette, river etiquette, camping etiquette, and I think I'm going to make more videos like that in the future because so many people just didn't seem to understand that in the comments over on TikTok. Most of us come out here to get away from other people, and we want it to be relaxing and enjoyable. And I think all of us can cohabitate without any issue, as long as we're all respectful and aware. Overall, we had an amazing trip, and we definitely want to come back out here and go camping. Until next time. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you want to see our recommendations for food, camping, Airbnbs, waterfalls, hiking in West North Carolina, aka WNC, go check out our Patreon. It's linked in the description. Other than that, don't get bamboozled.